Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Sue, your 2022 Oakland mayoral candidate. I am here at Oakland's open house for the first tiny home village here officially. And this is one that has been a long time coming. I've been talking about community land trusts properties and setting up villages just like this or similar to this all over Oakland. I've been talking about this since 2017, and now here we are at the fruition of it through Nikki Fornitato Bass of District 2. And so behind me you see some of the buildings. We'll be taking a tour of some of the buildings here shortly. They're going to get started in a little bit with their announcement and talk about the program and the folks that will be coming here in the very near futures. And then we'll get a timeline about how many people, how long this project will more or less stay here. Actually, there's going to be a development at the end of February, because the project that's supposed to come here has not been funded, and so they're still seeking funding for the building. And if that project does not get funded, then this community land trust could turn into a full-time, long-term homeless HOA, homeless community village, and it's on City of Oakland Community Land Trust property. So that's what makes it really good. So we're waiting to see what happens at the end of February, whether that organization, the agency, gets funding. If not, then we'll move forward with making this a permanent site with underground infrastructure coming. So we'll see what happens, but we'll be right back when all the events start. Okay, this is one of the larger shelters. This is for a couple. As you see coming in the door, we have shelving, we have electrical service for the room. We have a heater, small fire extinguisher, some shelving, and these beds, I was told, fold up, and you see a little latch right there to hold the bed upright, and then that creates more space, living space. And so this is for two people. Garbage can, shelving, meals will be provided, services here will be provided, I was just told. This is one of the larger units. This is an 8 by 10, so 80 square feet for two people. This would more than likely be a couple here. And so we're going to walk across the way to the single. This is a single unit here by Pallet Shelter. So it's pretty much the same thing, just cut down a few feet. Heater, electricity, the fold-up bed. We have a hard deck. And what is nice is that since these are completely modular, that any damage to any of these panels can quickly be replaced. So these are going to be proved out and going to end up being very durable. And from what I was just told by one of the representatives here, that they have these already in use in Santa Rosa, and they already have nearly a decade off site on these types of modular shelters for the homeless. And so these are being utilized in Santa Rosa, is what I was just told. Outside of the shelters, we have porta potties set up, hand washing stations, and storage. So this is handicap and regular hand washing station We've got some storage going on here. A lot more of the tiny homes. We have an office for staff, looks like. So this looks really nice, and this is between two different groups. We have one half of this is going to be occupied by the folks formerly of Union Point here in Oakland, and they decided to keep that community together, and so some of these, half of these, will go to Union Point community, and then the other half will be served by Housing Consortium of the East Bay.
President and representative for District 2, which is where we are today. I am really thrilled to be joined here with many, many people who've been part of this project to stand up Lakeview Village. This is a supportive shelter project that is using public land for the public good. And it took many, many people to come together to pull this project together. And so I want to first thank and introduce a number of our partners. So along with my District 2 office of the City of Oakland, I want to make sure we recognize our homeless administrator and our interim homeless administrator, LaTonda Simmons, and her fabulous team. I want to also recognize our Human Services Department. There are many, many people who've been doing tremendous work, doing outreach and helping us learn and build this project together. I also want to recognize Housing Consortium of the East Bay, which will be the service provider for Lakeview Village, along with Tiny Logic, which is the provider for the co-governed community, the first officially in the City of Oakland. We also have Sustainable Neighborhoods, who did tremendous job on the logistics, the infrastructure, the construction, and Michael Piatok, an amazing architect and D2 resident who has helped us to put this project together as well. And then there are also a number of organizations, neighbors who've been instrumental to getting us going, including the Beautification Council, the Dewey Academy community, and we have both the principal and assistant principal with us, Lakeshore Methodist Church, and we have our pastor and many others here, and many, many neighbors, including James Van, who is standing to my right. So all of that to say, it takes a whole village, including our unsheltered community leaders. I see Nino Parker, Lake Merritt Black Advocate here as well. Love and Justice in the Streets, and I hope I'm not forgetting anyone, but you get the point. It takes so many of us to do something like this. So I'll just speak briefly so you have an opportunity to hear what this is about, and then we have teams who can take you on tours, as well as people who can answer questions. So again, this is a really important homeless intervention because the winter is upon us, the rains are upon us. We need to get people off our streets and into these shelters. This is also a great opportunity to use public land for public good. Many of you know this parcel has sat vacant for many, many years as we are waiting for a housing development to begin construction. Again, this is also the site of a co-governed encampment which Tiny Logic is building with the former residents of Union Point. So there are many reasons we're excited to stand up this community. And specifically, I want to say that my office, as I've had conversations with our unsheltered community, our Human Services Department, and many people in the city, together with unsheltered residents and advocates, have been learning a lot about what it takes to upgrade people's conditions, to get out of the streets, out of the rain, and into shelter. And so one of the important features of this community is that we're forming a community council. This is something that we have learned about from other locations. We are intentionally having an open house with the community because this will be a partnership with the city, with my office, with our service providers, as well as the community, neighbors, businesses, the faith community, and others. So the community council will really be an opportunity to build community together, to make sure this is successful in our goals of housing people permanently, as well as working through challenges when they come up. Secondly, there are many amenities that we are upgrading from the many ways that the city has been housing people. You will notice that we have pallet shelters here. It's a new emergency intervention that we are trying here in the city of Oakland. They are single occupancy, which is very important during COVID. They have electricity to provide heat, which is going to be very important. I also want to let you know that we are bringing in potable water. That is also something that I personally am excited about because it means that we will be able to have potable water as well as showers and flushable toilets. And thank you to AC Transit for partnering with us. They are donating a bus that we are converting, and I want to make sure that everyone recognizes that sustainable neighborhoods. Jim Moore and his team have been really instrumental thinking about how we construct something that will continue to evolve and better how we are working with our homeless community. And then finally, please have an opportunity to talk with Housing Consortium of the East Bay, who is providing services to the residents who are moving into Lakeview Village. We are making sure that we're providing trauma-informed services, harm reduction services around 3 areas: health, mental health, substance, and other health and wellness issues. Secondly, economic issues. There are many reasons why people become homeless, even when they're working. So we want to make sure that we're addressing people's economic needs. And then thirdly, of course, this is a project that is working to get people into transitional and then permanent housing. So we will be helping residents on a case-by-case basis to really make sure that they will be on a path to be housed. So those are some of the features of this community. We're really excited. Again, it took so many people coming together, and we have many folks here who can answer questions, including James Van, Pastor Pam from the neighborhood. We have our architect. We have, I believe, Sustainable Neighborhoods. We have Adam from Tiny Logic, multiple people from Housing Consortium of the East Bay. We have our human services team who've been doing a great job with outreach. We have the mayor's office, others from the city, our homeless administrator, my office, District 2. So please let us know what questions you have. And we are also going to be taking people on walks through the community so you have a chance to see what it's going to be like and can engage us, starting not only from this point, but in an ongoing way as we build the community council. So, welcome and thank you for being here.
I have a question. Who started this encampment?
So this encampment, so that people know, was started in July of 2018.
Yeah.
Is that right?
July 4th.
July 4th, 2018. This encampment was started by Nino Parker, who was right here, and he and I met shortly thereafter. And even back then, the intention was to have a community of seniors who are disproportionately impacted by homelessness, of Black residents who are also disproportionately impacted by homelessness. And I'm just really pleased to know that more and more of our unsheltered community is getting housed, and that we as a city are not only using public land, but evolving the services and the amenities that we are providing to unsheltered folks, especially now as the rains in the winter are coming.
Can we ask Nikki, could you step up? We'd love to talk to some of these folks without having to stand out in the rain. Would you mind? I just want to ask you a few things about how, right here by the microphone. And if you could just say and spell your name.
My name is Nino Parker, and I am OPARKER.
Okay, so how did this all start, and why is it important, do you think, for this community? Folks housed, unhoused?
Well, I think when you have public space, it shouldn't be used by developers. It should be, with our housing prices here in Oakland, it should be utilized by the homeless. And originally, when I took this property, it was just a vacant lot that no one used for a long period of time. There was a construction company here at one point, but they left because of, I guess, the East Bay group that fought against them from having it here. But nevertheless, the most important thing is that we have more housing. Not just this is great. This is it's only 60 places, right? But we need to do more of this. I just hope this is a door that's opening around Oakland where we can build tiny homes for people so they can have their own private spaces, not like the touch sheds, which were shared with someone. And privacy is very important when it comes to homelessness too as well. But most importantly, like before mentioned, the rains are coming. We need to get people off the streets. I've done a lot of winters out here. This is my first winter where I haven't been in the rain, and it is very miserable. People don't realize how bad that wet rainy season is for people that actually live out here. But just as importantly, I think we need to make sure that the funding dollars that are coming in here to Oakland are getting to projects like this and not just being spread around to where we can't see the money going out to other nonprofits and places where we can't visualize it. The thing I love about what Nikki's done here is we can see the money. We can see the homeless dollars being spent right here visually. Like I said, there's been an ongoing problem with a lot of money coming in and not enough going out to the homeless.
Hey, Nino, could you describe what this was like when you were living?
Yeah, when I first came here, it was nothing but a totally flat dirt lot. The construction company had left, they had seeded it and kind of graded a little bit. It was very just clay and dirt. And
But did it become like a tent city here?
yeah, I did. I put up a tent, and we started this off with like seniors. It was a senior citizen, like 6 of us, and we put up a little type of plastic yellow fence, orange fence around it, and we were very secure and safe for like almost a year until some other entities moved in and things changed. But we did have a safe encampment. Matter of fact, I had Oakland's only safe encampment where you could actually lay your phone down and be there an hour later, you know. But yeah, that's how this started. It was just a dirt lot, you know.
Hey, Nina, will you be moving in here?
Pardon?
Are you going to move in here, Nina?
So if there are other questions, please share them.
One more question would be, so you said this is slated for some kind of housing development, so what happens when they decide they want to do their housing development? Or when it gets approved, or what's the status there?
Sure. So one of the things I want to underscore is that public land for public good is really important, especially housing and homeless solutions. And this parcel of land has sat vacant for many, many years, and the idea that we are piloting here is using public land for interim homeless solutions while developments are in the works. So the current development is in the process of securing the rest of their financing. There's another benchmark in February that they need to meet. If they meet that benchmark, there may be construction next year, in which case we will work to ensure a transition for the residents here, as well as making sure we can move these shelters to another location. And one of the things that we can talk with you about as you walk around is that these shelters, which are for emergencies, they can be stood up in a matter of minutes and taken down in a matter of minutes and moved. And so we are ready to continue providing these services for as long as this parcel of land is available. And if need be, once there is a permanent development here, we will work to move them and ensure continuity for the people who are residing here.
How is this different than the other locations?